Some of the files in this video were never meant to be public. Others were released decades later, heavily redacted. What connects them is not speculation, but documentation. Each case appears in FBI or CIA records. Each was investigated at a federal level. And yet, despite official attention, none of them ever produced complete answers. These are not theories. These are real intelligence files. This is 5 files. What makes these cases different is not secrecy alone, but contradiction in each file. Official records confirm investigation, interest, or involvement by intelligence agencies, while critical details remain missing, censored, or unresolved. File 5 begins with a case that was never labeled an intelligence operation, yet quietly attracted intelligence-level attention. In 1948, an unidentified man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Australia. At first, the case appeared local and unremarkable. However, documents and later reporting revealed that the case drew attention from intelligence communities. During the early Cold War, the man carried no identification. A hidden message referencing a rare book was found on his body. Codes were discovered. False identities were suspected. Witnesses later recalled behavior consistent with intelligence tradecraft. No agency ever confirmed involvement, but the classified materials and journalistic investigations confirm that intelligence analysts monitored the case. Despite decades of analysis and recent forensic advancements, key questions remain unanswered. Who was the man, and why did his case reach beyond local law enforcement? File 5 exists in official records, but not in full clarity. File 4 involves a tragedy officially labeled an accident, but quietly referenced in intelligence monitoring documents. In 1959, 9 hikers died under unexplained circumstances in the Ural Mountains. The investigation was classified soon after it concluded. Decades later, the classified CIA documents revealed that the agency had collected reports related to the incident not as an operation, but as part of broader foreign intelligence analysis. The documents did not explain the cause of death, but confirmed awareness and interest. The evidence documented by Soviet investigators conflicted with the final conclusion. The hikers fled their tent in freezing conditions. Some suffered injuries inconsistent with exposure alone. One showed signs of radiation. When the case was revisited years later, official explanations continued to change. The intelligence files acknowledged the event, but offered no answers. File 4 remains recognized, recorded, and unresolved. File 3 is one of the most famous open cases in FBI history. In 1971, a man identifying himself as D.B. Cooper hijacked a commercial aircraft, extorted ransom money, and parachuted into the night over the Pacific Northwest. The FBI launched an extensive investigation that lasted more than 4 decades. Hundreds of suspects were examined. Physical evidence was tested repeatedly. No suspect was ever conclusively identified. In 2016, the FBI officially closed the active investigation, stating that resources would be redirected. However, the Bureau did not declare the case solved. The file remains publicly available, incomplete by definition. The identity of D.B. Cooper is still unknown. File 3 was closed administratively, not conclusively. File 2 involves a program that was real, documented, and quietly terminated without consensus. For more than 2 decades, the CIA ran a classified research effort known as the Stargate program. Its purpose was to study whether certain individuals could gather intelligence. Through non-traditional means, the program produced reports, evaluations, and internal disagreement. Eventually, it was declassified and shut down. According to official assessments, the program failed to produce reliable intelligence value. Yet the documents themselves show ongoing uncertainty, conflicting evaluations, and unresolved conclusions. The program ended, but without a definitive answer as to whether its premise was entirely invalid or simply unproven. File 2 exists fully in official records, but its conclusions remain ambiguous. File 1 is the reason these files belong together. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy generated one of the largest intelligence and law enforcement investigations in history. Multiple federal agencies were involved. Over the decades, thousands of documents were classified, released, and partially redacted. Even today, some materials remain restricted. Official conclusions were issued. Official timelines were established. Yet, each release of new documents raised additional questions rather than resolving existing ones. The intelligence record surrounding the case is extensive, fragmented, and incomplete. File 1 represents not a lack of investigation, but the limits of what investigation can ultimately explain. What connects all 5 files is not secrecy alone, but restraint in each case. Authorities investigated deeply, documented extensively, and then stopped short of certainty. Files were closed, not because every question was answered, but because no definitive conclusion could be proven. Beyond dispute, these cases exist in official archives. They are referenced in intelligence documents. They are acknowledged by institutions, and still, they remain unresolved. After reviewing all 5 files, the question is not whether intelligence agencies investigated these events. The question is how. Many answers remain just beyond what the records reveal. Which file raised the most questions for you? This was 5 Files. Subscribe.